Oh, shit. What's up, guys? What's up?
We are live. How's everyone doing? Who do we have here? Johnny, Devin, Tim.
That was before the stream started.
Rick. He thanked them for earlier. Downhill, how are we doing? Hello, Eleanor, if you're there.
There we go. Adjust it up. Not much. Chilling. Waiting on the live stream. Disaster.
Disaster's here. Rich. DJ.
EJ's Red Rum is in the house.
How are we doing?
Whoa, Jimmy. Jimmy, look what we got. Look what we got,
Sean.
Jimmy. Hey, Sean.
How's everyone doing?
I like these shirts.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes, and we wash them. Don't worry.
Sally is a laundry guru.
Don't like laundry.
Oh,
to
boy.
get done. Guys are just saying hi to each other.
Jimmy, we're gonna make a Paul DaFox on the front, 5-0 posse on the back. What do you think?
Pedro, if you're listening.
That's for Pedro. Pedro and
You'll be
Jimmy.
getting. Want to make sure.
Super Alex.
Super
Party
Alex.
people, what's up?
How you doing?
Yeah, we're gonna party.
Everyone have a good
right.
week so far. I think. Why
What?
does that keep popping up in there?
I can't even. I know what he's saying. Downhill. He kills me. Disaster. Just saying. Sup to all the Mustang family.
I don't think I missed anybody, right? No.
No, we got everybody.
Downhill's chilling, just watching the streamies. What he's saying. Yeah, I got everybody. Okay. Don't want to miss him.
We got Sublime.
Hey, Sublime. How you doing, Matt?
Paulo, thank you so
Paulo.
much for all your help, brother. Really appreciate it. You know that. So, thank you. Jimmy said, back up to Jimmy for a second. Yes, you both are best. Nice. Can't wait. 5-0 posse representing for sure. I think these would do very well. Right? Walk around with them.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, a bunch of people were asking about them. So. Yeah. I actually had a lot of people asking in the comments, and I just said, you got to go talk to Jimmy Boy.
Yes. They were asking. Sean, it's been a good week. How was your week so far? It's been good. It's been busy.
So you guys know, obviously, we got Kessel Customs. He's going to be in the house. We're going to just settle in, wait for everybody to show up, whoever's going to show up.
Hey, Victor.
Chat a little bit, and then Gary's gonna join us, and we'll go from there.
Disaster. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul. What about adding a camo flag on the 5-0 posse shirt? It's Jimmy's shirt. I'm not gonna copy his shirt, but certainly something for Jimmy to consider. I was just saying that Jimmy. Wow, ours is just a little Paul DaFox. Come on, just like that. On the chest area here, so I was thinking Paul DaFox on the front, and we represent the 5-0 posse on the back.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy, what do you think of that?
I like the camel touch.
I like it too.
We're actually just in the middle of making a few camel hats.
I was going to wear my green camel hat, but then I put my black one on.
Yeah, a little darker. Well, that one's a lighter camel.
Yeah.
So
looking forward to getting the black and the gray.
What do we got? DJ. Yep. Steve Salvador. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Thanks for popping in.
I don't think I've ever seen Steve in the stream.
I don't know.
If you're new to the stream, well, welcome. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Hopefully you stay with us here. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Do you have a Mustang? If you do, you don't have to have a Mustang. All cars are great.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you have a Mustang, tell us what kind of Mustang you have.
I think he's been in. I'm not sure.
I've never seen Steve. Unless it was a night that I didn't stream with you.
I don't know. Well, there hasn't been too many.
Well,
like
welcome.
That. So, welcome everybody. Thanks for everybody.
Guys are just saying hi to each other here. Bring on the special guest.
Bring on the special guest. Yeah, Gary will be ready to go shortly.
Yeah.
be ready to go.
Time zone difference too.
Yeah, there's so that's the thing. So Gary is a 3-hour time difference for us. So for him, it's 5.
Vancouver. Oh, look,
he's there.
He's here.
He's ready.
He's ready to go.
Okay, pop him in. There. So switch. We're just gonna switch.
Switch.
Oh, look who we got.
How you
Look
doing?
who we got, Gary.
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We're good. It's like 3-hour difference for you.
Yeah, I was gonna give you a few minutes to, I guess, get ready, settle in at home. I was just saying to the guys that for you it's 5:05 right now, right?
It
Look
is.
at these
Yeah.
prom.
And these time changes are funny to deal with, right? Because I mean, a 3-hour spread's quite drastic. You know, you guys are winding down and we're just getting home kind of thing, right? So
Yeah,
I
for
know.
sure.
I know.
For sure. So, well, thanks.
So this is
for,
pretty cool. I've heard about this whole shared live system, right? But I've never done it. Seems like there's a whole pile of different ways to do it, but this is obviously one of them.
Yeah, actually, I watched your your interview with Tom, War Admiral, today. So
Yeah.
looks like you did that on a Zoom or a WebEx or something like that.
I
So
did,
you
and
pre-recorded it, loaded it, and then posted it. Is that what you did?
yeah, and it works out pretty good. Like you can set them up so whoever's speaking is the person in frame and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I will tell you, it is the worst thing to edit because especially for the person, I guess, that interviews, because you're like, well, this is all good stuff. But next thing you know, you got an hour and a half of yakking back and forth and whatever, and you're trying to cut things out.
Yeah.
So,
But that was a great interview there with Tom and Foxy Brown. You know.
yeah,
Sorry,
Jesse.
Yeah, that's it, Jesse. I forgot his name there for a second, but yeah, that was pretty good. I like Tom's backstory there, so it's pretty cool.
It is so cool. And what's kind of funny about it, so a little insider info, back before, I think his car had just kind of rolled out of the shop, and you know, the World Wide Web, right? Like sometimes there's things going on it and you don't even know. And this car was actually one of them. So I happened to stumble into one of his posts, I think when they were maybe mocking up the exhaust, which everything about that car is over the top. It's stunning.
I know.
Yes. Very.
So I reached out to him. I said, guy, you know, like I've never done one of these things before, but I'd love to get you on. I know you're on the other side of the country and, well, in a different country to boot. You're in the States and I'm in Canada. But if we could line it up, it'd be great. But now this kind of adds to the neat part of his story is the guy works like a dog. He puts in crazy hours, not only to support his family, but to also support his Mustang fetish. And so we went back and forth from that point on. And then by the time we finally got it together, I mean, we were like long lost friends. I had heard so much of the backstory and I went, okay, we got to stop having this conversation on the phone because I want to hear it for the first time when we film, you know?
Yeah.
So, that's awesome.
Oh,
it was
it's
really
such
good.
a story.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's such a cool story. Like it really, there was no joke during that interview. Like I was getting misty. It's such a neat story.
Yeah, I really like how it ended off. He kind of wrapped up that, you know, your interview there with those 3 things there that he said. You know, what did he say? The statement of one day or something like that. He said something of one day. Well, that his dad never fruition for his dad. So he was like, no, that one day is going to be one day for me is going to be now, kind of thing. And that he didn't want to. He kind of said that he didn't want to wait. That he wanted to build a car while he was still young and in the prime of his life. And he kind of finished it with that he built the car for his daughter, right? At the end of the day, it was his daughter, and he gets a kick out of taking her to Dairy Queen. So it's a really cool story, man. Like he did an excellent job wrapping it up. I really enjoyed it. So you got a full hour's worth of view from me today.
Well, I know, right? When you're doing those things, you hope that folks are going to get something out of it. Obviously, the car's a big draw, but I just thought, I'm like, there's always a neat story behind these things. Even if I know anytime I've gotten a car too, and it's almost like you want to know where this car's been. You want to know what it's done and seen, and the story is what makes it for me, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So
he had actually, before we move off of Tom there, so
yeah, no problem.
Chris and I, for this week's podcast, we kind of talked about how the two of us, well, we're both 40 and we're both kind of making crazy decisions at 40, which we probably should have been making at 20, but anyway, here we are. And so anyway, Tom, funny enough, reached out to me after listening to it, and he sent me this little clip of a Joe Rogan podcast that I don't know if it's a new one that I haven't caught yet or what, but I'd never heard him interview this gal before. And it's so funny because I tell this story about how we wanted to move back out to BC, and in doing so, I kind of got myself into a job that you got to make grown-up decisions at 40, right? You can't just whatever, hope for the best. So I end up in this role as a commercial insurance broker, and it was the story that I tell about it is that I hated selling insurance more than anyone hates buying it. It was just the worst experience in my life. So anyway, in this Joe Rogan interview, he's talking about making decisions at a late day and age, and thank goodness he had made the ones he did when he was young, because it's so much tougher when you've got dependents and bills and all the rest of it. He goes, imagine if you were stuck in a job selling insurance. I'm like, what? Did he hear our podcast? What's he going on about here, you know? Yeah, Tom sent that over to me. He goes, it's so funny, guy. It's almost like Joe Rogan listened to you guys, and here he is teasing me about being an insurance broker.
That's good. I like that.
That's funny. That's a coincidence.
Oh my god.
So Gary, I know probably everybody in the stream knows. Hey, what you sipping on there?
Yeah, what do you have in there? Broken tool.
Oh, so, you know what? I was gonna drink a Stella out of a can.
Yeah.
I was gonna have a Stella out of a can, some whiskey and ginger ale.
Nice.
Anyhow, that's so funny.
There's Tom. Just gonna make sure we say hi to the guys that came in.
We're highlighting. So as we're talking here,
lots
Gary,
of guys here for you.
There's a lot of chat going on, so we're just highlighting the comments. Are you seeing the comments on your end? You should be able to.
It looks as they come up on my end. I just see. It looks like to be the most recent one. I did see Tom say "What's up," and here's Suzuki 1000.
Yeah, there's.
Okay, so you're seeing, so we're just, as we talk, Sally or myself, we just keep highlighting everyone's comments. So if we see there's a question,
I'm stopping, and if there's a question, they're there for you.
If there's a question in here for you, Gary, then we're gonna stop and we'll address the question. But for everybody that's in the stream, Gary, I think most of them know who you are. But tell them a little bit about yourself. You know, your channel, what you're doing. Whatever you'd like to share, man. Where you live, that's your call. Give us a little intro.
Well, I mean, probably a good place to start would be similar to the story that I told on our podcast. I mean, I rewound the clock back to 99 when I got out of grade 12, and which seems like forever ago. It feels that way, but it doesn't. I joke around like I think I'm still 18, but
we do the same.
I do the same. I get in trouble for it.
So got out of school, and I was going to be a mechanic. And then a fellow that I worked with during one of the summers out of the automotive service tech program I was taking talked me out of it. He says, look at me, my hands are black, my back's buggered. It's hard to raise a family on a mechanic's wage, and they're always changing the time scale for how much time you get to fix something. And so anyway, at first I told him I didn't think he knew what he was talking about. And then by the end of the summer, he kind of had me talked into it. So I went back to school, got my business degree. And from there, it was kind of just your standard path of trying to find, that point that you fall into in life. But I always was tinkering in the garage. I could never shake I got these automatic lights, guys. And if I'm not moving, they shut off. Funny enough, I've been stuck under a car for a long time. and they all shut off, and then you can't get out. You don't even know where you're going.
All good.
All good, man.
That was my office when I was in the building. It was the same thing. All of a sudden the lights would go. I'm like, oh damn it, gotta move around.
Yeah, so I always had the love for it. Was just not really doing it on the day-to-day. I was just doing it when I came home and tinkering in the garage at night and stuff. And I started getting kind of heady with it all. I was like, as far as we know, we only get one crack at this crazy thing called life. And I've always sort of lived with that thought in the back of my mind, like, what if tomorrow never comes? And kind of like the story of Tom and his car, and his dad was, one day I'll get that car built and we'll go for ice cream. And so, and I guess I'm pretty fortunate in that I do have that check valve in my mind, because it helps you through life, right? If you don't want to get out of bed one morning, you go, it's like two voices in your head. The one that says stay in bed, and the other one goes, get up, you lazy bastard. It's time to go, So I was in this insurance role, and I went, I don't think I'd be happy with myself if I spent another day in misery. And I also thought too, I bailed out of that job with no job to go to or anything. And I thought maybe that fire of, you don't know how you're going to make it tomorrow is the fire I need to really get going and give her,
Good for you, man. Good for you.
Yeah.
That takes courage, buddy.
It does.
That takes a lot of courage, right?
It was super spooky. I mean, my wife and I, it was tense. It was like air conditioning on high. It was a little cold in the house, and she didn't think that this was the best idea that I'd ever had. But funny enough, it's weird how it's all worked out. Like, it was just, before I was swimming up creek, and then all of a sudden I went, you know what? I'm just going to go with it. Wherever this creek's taking me, I'm going. Beauty. And funny enough, I met my partner that we got this shop together now. He's actually got a really neat story. He used to drive monster truck professionally in the Monster Jam series. So, and yeah, it's as if, well, we haven't even really advertised, but folks are finding us. It almost seems too weird, like it's meant to be, if you will. I don't know.
Surreal, yeah. Surreal. Well, that's why you're here. I mean, tell us about the shop, tell us how it's going, and, where you plan on going with it, what you're going to specialize in. Is it just going to be just Fox bodies,
Well, like yourself, like I love the cars. They've always had a very, very special place in my heart. I've come to stumble into a pretty decent group of guys locally here that all have them, and their range of knowledge varies, right? Some are tinkering on their own. Some have built their own cars, and then there's some that they've kind of know where the key goes, and that's about it, right? So having somebody that can help them out, and then I guess you got your own cars to justify your experience or whatever with them, so that helps. Sure. And then, I mean, before all this happened, it was actually just, I started that YouTube channel just before, or I shouldn't say I started it then. I had done a couple of videos a long time ago that my wife sort of talked me into doing, and set it down for a while. Because my wife, funny enough, she used to do a bunch of YouTube videos. She kind of did them on makeup or kids stuff or whatever. And she goes, yeah. So she said, well, why don't you do it? Like, what the heck? You're always messing with something. I think people get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
I started. And then it was around that time too, started the whole Instagram thing. And lo and behold, there's a pretty good group of people that like to see my old green bucket of bolts. And all of a sudden,
it's not a bucket of bolts. It's definitely not a bucket of bolts. It's actually a pretty unique notch as far as the skirt package. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and funny enough, to just throw a little plug in here. So Chris and I are going to be yakking here later on tonight for our upcoming podcast. And we're doing the topics, body kits on coupes. So we're going there. Some people love it, some people hate it. I think it'll be a fun little chat. So
right
That's
on.
awesome.
I'm just gonna jump in here, Gary, just for a second. I just want to address somebody gave us a super chat. Foxbody FX, thank you so much.
That's awesome. Thank you.
You know, totally not necessary, but much appreciated. Every little bit helps. Goes right back into the channel.
That's awesome.
And,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm making sure I'm highlighting everybody too as they're coming in, because normally we.
And if you guys have any questions for Gary, please
put
post
them
them
in,
up.
because I'm highlighting everybody. I know you can't stay for Blue, but thanks for popping in. Hey there, Matt. I see you. I see you, Silverback. I see you guys. I'm highlighting, and we had someone join us from Miami.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just got this figured out now, guys. I was in the private chat section before. Now I'm in the actual comments. I can see what's
there
going
you
on.
go.
There you go. You can see them. Yeah.
There
So
you
I'm highlighting them all. So the guys are just having a little conversation between each other, saying hi to each other.
But we're gonna try to address, highlight all the comments as they come in. But guys, just appreciate that while Gary's chatting, it's very difficult for us to say hello, but we're acknowledging everybody coming in. So thank you to everybody new that's popping in. Much appreciated.
Automotive, I see you.
So sorry, Gary. So keep going with the shop. So
yeah, I think, guys, I got to just mention, this is so wild that we can do this. Like, it blows my mind.
There's different views. We can set different views. Like if we want to, as there more people come in, we can make you bigger, smaller.
We can actually put you right on solo.
We can make just you if we want, just you solo. Like if you want to show us something, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of different options here, Gary. If you want to learn a little bit more one day, no problem. We can walk you through some stuff.
Sure.
On our own, and do like a practice or like a test, like a test live stream, and I can show you a little ins and outs a little bit. At least shortcut your learning curve, anyways.
You have a question there from Disaster. Hey Gary, what's the 5.0 scene like in BC?
Good question, Disaster. Good question.
Right. So, in all honesty, until I stumbled into this group of fellas that I mentioned earlier, locally here, I really didn't think there was too many Fox bodies around. Just kind of your standard newer Mustangs that folks have bought from the dealership and stuff, but I hadn't seen too many older ones around. There is a big car culture out here though, like classic cars and what have you. Mm-hmm. However, I haven't gotten over to Vancouver yet, but out there, apparently it's more than you can shake a stick at. There's just Fox bodies everywhere. So the guys take it pretty serious out there. I do plan on getting out there. I really do want to. They seem to know how to put on like a proper Friday night cruises and burnouts and all the fun stuff that everybody loves doing, right? So I think overall it's pretty good. I'd say that around locally for me, the ones that I have met, there's probably a dozen. I should probably say there's probably 20. There's got to be a handful I don't know of. But it's neat too, because as we all know, these cars are getting older, and somebody needs a goofy part or whatever. Now you got a little group that you can draw upon.
Yeah, for sure. Start collecting all the parts, buddy. Start collecting. Keep everything, man. Keep everything, because they're gonna get. The parts are getting harder and harder to acquire, as you know. So But there's still one of our coupes is still out that way. There should be a red coupe of mine out in BC somewhere. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where he lives. It was a red coupe with a sunroof. It had a pop-up sunroof.
It had a sunroof on that one.
I wasn't a fan of it myself, and that was one of the reasons I moved it. But teach their own, But it's somewhere out there. It's a red coupe slammed on 17-inch chrome ponies, supercharged. So it's out there somewhere.
Okay, I'll keep my eyes peeled. Well, I don't know if you guys would know this fella or not. I get it. This is kind of like saying you're from Saskatchewan. Do you know Frank? No, probably not.
It's okay. We get it all the time.
Right. But I do know that this community of ours is relatively tight and small. So there's some crossover. But a fellow by the name of Gil Rees, and he's got a brother named Mark. They're
Yes,
both
oh,
farmers.
Yeah, I went to school.
Buddy, it's a funny
right?
bring.
Okay, so this is how small the damn world is.
Yes.
So listen, Gary.
Mark Reese.
Mark Reese and his brother, who, if memory serves correct, his nickname is Gerb.
Yes, that's his name.
Right.
Gerb.
Gerby? I think his
Yeah.
handle on Instagram's Gerby. Yeah.
Yeah, goes by Gerb.
Okay.
I've known him for
Known him a long time.
30 plus years.
Yeah.
I took him out in a black coupe when I was like, I don't know, 17, 18. I thought I was the man, you know, it was a black coupe. It had exhaust. You know, when you're 17, exhaust, 373 gears, Flowmaster mufflers, thing rock and roll back then, right?
You're cooking. Oh, yeah.
He still remembers it. He still remembers it, and I didn't, but I totally am aware and familiar with the whole, he was looking for his Celine. You helped him find it. You went and checked it out and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yes, I know them very well. I know
Okay.
Mark. I know his brother very well.
His cousin dated my brother. That's how I know them.
Really?
Yeah.
So, well, and I guess for anybody watching that doesn't know the story, Gil had reached out to me and said, I used to have this car. I bought it brand new in 93, sold it to another guy. Apparently he sold it to another guy, and that guy drove it from Ontario out to somewhere in BC. And because Gil was the original owner, he still had the VIN. He still had all kinds of stuff for it. So every once in a while, he'd run the VIN just to see if it's still alive or if it's being used, whatever. Yeah. And so he checked it and found out that it was somewhere in BC. Wanted to know if I'd seen it around. I said I hadn't, but I'll keep my eyes peeled, you know. So then a little bit of time goes by, and he goes, "Guy, you're not going to believe it. I found the damn car." He goes, "It's somewhere in the Okanagan, and it's for sale." So he goes, if you don't mind, and I kind of cut him off. I said, "Listen, I live for this stuff. I'll go anytime, anywhere. If I can help you get your first car, I'm in," right?
That's awesome.
So went and checked it out. And I told him, I said, "Listen, Gil, this is kind of fun for me because I'm spending somebody else's money essentially, but I'm going to look at it as if I were going to buy it. Okay. So, and I'm going to give you the everything and anything. I'm going to be real critical because I'd hate to see the poor guy get the car shipped all the way to Ontario and then go, what the hell is this? You know?"
Mm-hmm.
So, checked it all out, videos, we FaceTimed, we pictures, the whole bit. And long story short, he ends up buying it and sending it home to himself. And the guy, he's such a great guy. I've never shaken his hand. We just, Christ, we met through Instagram.
Yeah.
So he goes, "I got to do something for you." I said, "Gil, just the fact that you're going to tell a story to somebody one day and say this crazy dude in BC went and found it, and you know, that's how I ended up getting it back." I'm like, that is more than enough for me. And he's such a nice, he's like, "No, I'm getting you something. I'm sending you something. You name it, I'm sending it to you." I'm like, "Nope."
That's awesome.
So far, I haven't given him my address, so he can't send me nothing.
That is so nice. We saw them at the car meet.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I hadn't seen them in years, and I was like, wow, what a small world. Yeah. It was just crazy.
We saw them in October.
It was the last car. It was
October.
Yeah, it was the finale.
Yeah.
It was so nice actually to see them.
I actually was gonna do like a story on his car, and we were supposed to connect and come over, and I knew you were involved, so it was gonna be a really easy tie-in and story. And you never got what. We made a date. We kind of made a date, and then he kind of I don't know if he changed his mind or he was busy. He kind of canceled on me, which is no big deal. Maybe he got camera shy or whatever.
Well, a lot of people don't like to go on camera.
Maybe he got camera shy or whatever. But I was like, no problem. If you change your mind, let me know. I'd love to come down because like you, I think it's a great story. And because I think he looked for it for 8 years, if I'm not mistaken. I think he looked for it for 8 years, and he was set on finding that car. And I think it's a great story, and I think guys like to hear stories like that. So I was like, "Hey, let me make it into a story for you." You know what I mean? And like I said, I knew you were involved, and I was like, "Cool."
That is
And
awesome.
yeah, and the guy that picked it up, the guy lives 20 minutes. You know who it is? The guy on Trafalgar Road here.
Yeah.
The guy is 20 minutes from us, and he ships cars around. That's all he does.
Hauling company.
Yeah, he's got a dually truck and a beautiful enclosed trailer, and he drove out to BC, picked it up, and wheeled it right back home for.
It's a good
for
contact.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it was a great story. But
I know that's one.
Sorry, go ahead, Greg.
Well, I was gonna say that this is one of the things I love so much about this little community we've got. You know, like the fact that it's the type of folks that would drive across town in the middle of the night to help you change a tire. You know, or bang on your door and go, look, don't ask any questions. I need $1,000. Yep, here you go. You know, just peel them off. Whatever you need. It's awesome.
It's awesome.
Somebody was asking what you were sipping. I know you answered it earlier, but it's a Stella downhill.
Yep. Drinking the classy stuff. I got into the Coronas a little heavy last night by accident, and they're all gone. So I had these Stellas from Christmas. I thought, oh, what the heck?
Yeah. I opened the fridge door, and there was a couple choices looking at me, and I go, I haven't had a Sapporo in a while. I don't know if you've ever tried Sapporo. Yeah. And then I had the Stella right beside. I go, I think you're gonna have a Stella tonight, Sal.
Then I made it.
And then Sally mixed us a drink, but you know what? I think the Stella is still calling my name. So once I finish this guy off, then
I'll go get it.
So Tim Windsor or one of the mods, if you can put up Gary's channel, so we can pin it up top for. If you guys haven't obviously if you guys haven't checked out Gary's channel, go check it out. So somebody please post Gary's link up to his channel. That would be cool.
305, no.
No. 305 says no Carlsberg.
No.
Hey, so I got a question for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Where does the love for the red come? Seems like the only thing that wasn't red was Sally's coupe that you guys were in and out of in a minute.
Yeah.
Man, you know what I don't know what it is. You know, there's always that old saying, right? Resale red. Can't go wrong with a resale red, right? But I've always had an eye for the red. We've had a few more red coupes, some previous red coupes. We've had a lot of notches overall, Gary.
Mm-hmm. We've lost kind of count.
But I don't know. I just like red. I just like red as a color. You know, if I was to get a Ford Lightning, it would be red for me.
I love it in red.
The white first. White is Sally's favorite color. So when we were kind of like peeking around, that one jumped out and it was white, and that one kind of ticked a couple of boxes there for us. So
I like black too. It's just so hard to keep up.
Black is really
like,
nice.
Oh yeah, God.
Looks good for 30 seconds after you clean it.
Yeah, it's not forgiving at all.
Yeah, for sure. But
hey, and what happened with the white coupe, Sally?
My mom got sick, and
that was the deal. Okay.
And then I thought, just have it just sitting there, and I didn't want to put any energy into it, and I felt bad that it was just sitting there, and every time I looked at it, I felt guilty because I was like, we bought it for me to work on, and I just shifted priorities, of course, right? And I'm glad I did. But it was a really nice notch. It really was. But timing is everything, And I'm very much like, if I make a decision, I normally don't change it. Like I don't waver. I don't go back and forth. And once I make a decision, that's it. It's like full throttle ahead, right? Yeah. So for me, that was probably the best decision I made, and because I knew I couldn't split my time, I was split in every direction possible at that time. So
yeah, that's a tough one for sure. Hey, geez.
Yeah,
it was a good choice though. At the end of the day, it was a good choice. Yeah. Sally didn't want to put any time into the car, and she basically said, I want to spend every minute with my mom that I have. And I said, okay, let's do it. And I said, you want to move it? And she said, yeah. And went to a good home. Locally, really 20 minutes. The guy literally picked it up, came here, pocket full of cash. He was serious, took it home. And it was like literally within 5 minutes of him taking off, big snowstorm came in. So I'm like, oh man, he just made it. It was a beautiful, clear
Wow.
day, and then all of a sudden, a snowstorm came in, and he just made it home. He goes, it was just coming down, and
Yeah.
he started to make it home. But
Yeah.
so
Wow.
one of the moderators, Gary, has posted your link. I've pinned it. So what that means is your
cool.
link to your YouTube channel is at the top of the comments. You're not going to see it on your end here on StreamYard, but on the YouTube side of it,
will be
as
there.
people come in, they see your. They're going to see your link, and whoever wants to join you, please go give Gary's channel a look. You won't be disappointed. For sure, man. For sure.
305.
So, yeah, for sure. Tell us about, obviously, you got this podcast going with Downhill Daddy. Thanks for doing that, brother. Obviously, you got this podcast going with Chris, the infamous project. I think everybody knows his ride. He's got some beautiful rides.
He sure does.
Tell us about the podcast, like the date. Do you guys have a set date yet when it airs, or tell us a little bit about it, where people can find it, stuff like that.
Yeah. So we had talked about it for a little while there, and then we just, it was one of those things, like you overthink it. You go, well, do we need mics? What do we need? And then it turned out we just wung it, and we actually do it over Zoom. So he and I can try to see each other, so we're not talking over each other. But then we end up with an audio recording, and we load her up. It's a heck of a lot easier than editing a video, I'll tell you that much. But the only thing you really got to edit is if you go long and somebody's got to pee or whatever, you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we decided, we thought Monday mornings was kind of the best load time. So I think it hits both Apple Podcasts and Spotify Monday mornings at like 6 a.m. Idea being, start your week off, drive to work and listen if you want or whatever, right?
That's awesome.
Great idea.
I like
that. And it's neat too. At first we're still learning and sort of chunking through it, but we just try to treat it like a phone call. And
for sure.
We're both definitely interested in the topics, and we just kind of talk our way through, and kind of like this, you get to know people a little bit better.
For sure.
It's raw. It's not edited. You're just winging it.
Well, I like that.
And this is basically what we're doing here. This is raw and edited. This is who we are. This is who you are.
It's authentic, right? And that's what people want.
Yeah. If we say something out of line,
we're like,
you say something out of line. What are you gonna do?
You're like,
but the great part of doing it here is that it creates the post for you automatically. There's no editing. There's no nothing. Boom. It just posts it for you, right?
Yeah.
So it's actually much easier. As you know, I'm preaching to the choir. It's much easier than doing a video. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. And I mean, the videos usually got a topic to which you don't stray away from. Like you don't get just the thoughts and the whatever, the real raw side of it. And I've always found that anyone that I enjoy watching, I always like to know more. It's kind of like going back to earlier. Like I want to know the backstory. Give me the backstory, And so Chris and I both sort of thought that the podcast could, if people were interested in he and I, like I am in others, well, then this way you can tag along, listen to us having a drink and talking about cars,
Yeah.
So
I think that's awesome. It's almost like going to a meet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was one of them we joked around about that because, well, I mean, the two of us, we get yakking, and next thing you know, you're all over the place. Like, oh, right, I forgot to talk about this, and oh, we got to talk about that. But and that's exactly what happens at a car meet or whatever, right? Somebody pops in, and next thing you know, you're talking about something totally different,
Tim Webb has a question. I guess it's for either me or for you. He says, "You have creatine in that drink, boss?"
No
Or it might be for Sally. I don't
have no creatine.
No creatine, Tim Webb. No creatine.
No.
Hey, on that note, guys, I got to tell you, you guys are 1,000% inspirational in way more ways than just this. However, speaking of creatine, like you guys are bang on the physical fitness. Bang on.
We're trying.
We try.
We're trying. A little bit older than you, Gary.
Yeah.
We're a little older.
We got a couple years on you still.
Yeah, but trying to hang on. Obviously, you know, it gets a little harder as we get older. The body doesn't recover as fast. So, have I used creatine? Yes, I have. Does it work? Yes. I'm a firm believer in the creatine, but you know, you get like everything else. So your body will eventually get used to it and doesn't do anything. So you got to cycle on and off of it, right? So, yeah. But well, thank you. Thanks, Gary. That is another passion, a strong passion of mine. You know, since a little kid, cars. You know, obviously Mustang since little kid. Yeah, there's not many things that I know in this world, but I know a little bit about fitness. I know a little bit about Fox bodies, and that's about it.
We have lots of passions. There's lots of hobbies.
Yeah.
Endless.
Well, aside from the traveling, you know, like we're travel buffs. You know, we love to travel. You know, that was Sally brought that, and I've kind of learned from her. Of course, right? We learn from our partners. And, and then
I like interior design.
That's awesome. Well,
I
Sally,
love interior design.
Sally's a Van Gogh here, man.
I love it. I love to paint. I love to work with my hands. So
well, I can see in the background. I mean, everything looks stunning behind you there.
Oh, thank you. I'll repurpose things, refurbish them.
Oh, yeah.
I don't get rid of anything. I'm like, oh, I can make that look pretty again. I'll change it.
Well, okay, it's funny you say this.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sally, I was going through your Instagram the other day, and I'm like, she looks like she's out, you know, in the kids' repurposed playground, and she's got a cinder block curling it, right? Like, you're repurposing rocks, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, we bought that play set, and it wasn't cheap when we bought that. It was like $2,500. And how many years ago was that?
Yeah, that was for Marcus.
It was like 14 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe no more, because Marcus is 17. He was 2. Yeah. And I'm like, we're not getting rid of that. I'm not tearing it down. We can use it for someone we're doing some CrossFit. So we can use chin-ups. So we use it. But we have to kind of fix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It works.
Sometimes, Gary, you got to make do with what you have. You know, when we go on vacation, or our last vacation, or you know, we went to a Airbnb. We were in Portugal. They didn't have nothing around, so we were doing chin-ups up the walls. We were doing curls. I was squatting with Sally on my back.
Yeah.
You know, you got to get creative. We were doing shoulder lateral raises with the cleaning ladies, water
jugs.
just have some fun. You just have some fun with it.
You just got to figure it out, right? Make it work. I actually just posted that video. I was doing pull-ups against a wall, and it was hard. So he's like, "There's no way we're going to be able to hold up." I'm like, "Yeah." And there's a clothesline above me, so I'm hitting it as I'm going up. But it was actually to hold on to the wall. I felt like I was scaling the wall, and I'm like, oh my God, this is actually kind of hurting. But I was like, screw it, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So it made it work. So it was kind of funny, because after you look back, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. You know, we're curling, like, remember the water jugs? It was actually quite funny. But anyway, just do it.
And that's awesome. And that's how these streams go sometimes. You know, you get sidetracked. Somebody will ask us a question, and we just, and all of a sudden we just take a quick right turn. But that's the beauty. We enjoy these live streams, and they're really cool. But
Jimmy's favorite line: "Put the kids away."
Yeah, Jimmy Boyd, put the kids away. bedtime for me. Yeah. Work in the morning. Have a good night, everyone. Automotive addiction.
We're actually looking forward to meeting a lot of these. You know, obviously
we're gonna try to make it down to Chocolate Fox.
Cool.
So we're gonna try to hit that brewery that everybody hits on the Thursday night. So that'll be pretty cool. And we're just trying to coordinate our vacation planners together at work, kind of thing.
And I'm gonna book the hotel and
go down and meet Tom. I know his car's in that show, and everyone else there, and it'd be great to meet. So that's the show. I'd like to make Chocolate Fox and see if we can make Ford Takeover or Bleed Ford Blue. You know, Ken's show, one or two.
Yeah.
So obviously we can't make them all, but we're certainly going to try our best. So
This is it. I know I've talked about doing that for years now. I've often thought that probably where I'd like to try to do it would maybe be in the fall months, where you could. Well, and I think this year might actually be the last year of Mustang Week.
It is. It is. Yes.
Right. Because you got Mustang Week, Foxtoberfest, and I think there's one more that falls kind of in that 45-day period of time.
Well, there's I have a couple of them written down. You got Ken's show, KSD there. He's in September. I think he was eyeballing September 24. What's Ford Takeover? June. I'm just going off the top of my head here. I got so many dates in my head. June 10th or 11th. Chocolate Fox in May. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them in there. So
yeah,
gonna make Chocolate Fox because that's drivable for us.
It's
So
like
Chocolate Fox is Pennsylvania. So we've driven to Pennsylvania. It took us whatever 4 or 4.5 hours. So we can make that one.
Bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. 4.5, I think.
About that.
4.5 or 5 or
Something.
whatever. 4 or 5 hours. It's not too bad. So that one's doable. And then the other ones will probably be a quick fly-in.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They're just too far. I'm not gonna drive 16, 20 hours. So
yeah,
that's not worth it. But somebody here was asking for the podcast link.
The
Fox Body FX, their podcast link.
Okay.
Yeah, type it in.
Yeah,
By all means,
you have a link in here, guys.
Pardon me?
I might be able to link it here. Let me see what I can do.
Sure.
Yeah, put it up.
I've got it saved in a notes page.
Thank you, 305. We see all your comments.
You can see
305 says, I can see Gary's garage door opener. He's like, nice backdrop.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, well, there's better backdrop than that.
There we go. There's a nice
Nice.
backdrop.
Yeah,
That's nice. Yeah. We still gotta talk about that bad boy there.
Yeah.
yeah, we do.
Sally, do you have any single Portuguese girls for the single Portuguese guy?
Oh, Red Rum. Red Rum's a fellow pork chop. We're allowed to say that, so we're good.
It's not derogatory when you're Portuguese. Like, do I have any friends that are
If
single
you,
right now? Let
when
me
you
think about that.
And when you drop in a comment, it should go right through Gary, so no problem.
Okay.
What are you looking for?
No, he's trying to link in his.
No, he's asking for any single friends. And I'm like, what kind of girl are you looking for?
I'm talking to Gary. You're talking to Red Rum over there. What's the matter with you?
I'm trying to set him up.
He says single. Beggars can't be choosers.
Well, he might have a type. I don't know. He just said Portuguese, like single girl.
I don't know if it's going to allow you to link it in, Gary. I'm not sure. But if you do the old, if you just manually type it in, you can try. Or if somebody knows the podcast link, they can certainly.
Okay, you know what I think I can do here? It doesn't seem to let me log into the actual comments, but there's this whole private chat thing that I think I can send it to you.
Okay. Try it that way.
Go into see. Just let me know when it's there. Oh, there
it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the Spotify link, and then I got an Apple link somewhere too.
Copy link.
Yeah. And then just drop it in the regular chat.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
Sally's gonna try. Okay. It's in the chat now. So for anybody, I don't think it's hyperlinked in.
Is it there?
But it will be. You dropped it in.
Okay, and here's the other one.
305. I want to go to Mustang Week and Foxtoberfest.
305 says I want to go to Mustang Week and Foxtoberfest.
Yeah, me too.
Paul and Sally, if you all go to a Ford Takeover, I'm definitely gonna attend. Cool.
Yes.
I'm just gonna grab a drink, guys. Hang tight there.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Come on. I'll do this one too.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we definitely are wanting to go, David. So for sure.
And that's the podcast link for you guys. So we've dropped in, Gary, your Spotify link and your Apple.
One there. Thanks, guys.
No problem. And your YouTube channel is still pinned at the top. And I know a couple guys have supported you because as they've supported your channel, they let us know here in the chat. So that's good.
Oh, cool.
Good.
Thanks, guys.
He said, since I'm in Miami, I got to take a plane.
Since I'm in Miami, I got to take a plane. I wish I was in Miami.
I was going to say, I wish I
was
in
in Miami. I had to take a plane.
Yeah.
We're dealing with snow. We're dealing
This is the
with
thing. I know, like, I'd love to. My ultimate goal would be to actually like trailer a car and get down to some of these shows, but
for sure.
I got 3,000 miles just to get to you guys, let alone
I know.
south from there. You know,
I
so
know. That's a
take
long
some
haul, man. That's a long haul, you know, and that gets mentally taxing when you're hauling that long, because you got to stay focused, you know. When you're pulling a 20 or a 24-foot trailer, you got to stay focused.
Yeah.
Man. Last time we pulled the trailer, remember?
Oh God.
Oh man,
that was horrible.
It almost the tire blew out. The tire blew out, and I thought we were gonna flip. And I said, okay, that's the end of the day for me. Flipped around and went back home. All I saw was a big cloud of smoke. We felt the truck and the kind of topple a little bit, like a bounce side to side, and I thought we were gonna go over. So the tire blew out. It grabbed the fender. Scary. It curled the fender in.
Yeah.
Somehow, obviously the tire blew. When the tire blew, it grabbed the fender, curled the fender right in. A big smoke screen. All I hear behind us is the tractor trailer behind us just blaring the horn, like letting us know you blew a tire, dude.
Right.
That's horrible.
And then we felt it. I went white as a ghost because I thought we were gonna go over. And then
I
pull over. We pull over, regroup, take a look at the tire. Of course, no spare. So learning lesson there. Thought I had a spare. No spare. And we double backed and on 3 wheels. double backed on 3 wheels, and we pulled into a trailer shop and we got the tire fixed. So not only did we waste our day, luckily we didn't get hurt, but so it's taxing. Yeah.
I felt so bad because I knew he was so upset. You literally went white as a ghost. So then, you know, I stayed really, really calm, because if I was going to freak out and get upset, it's not going to help. So even though inside I'm thinking, oh my God, like worse, you start to like vision everything bad, right? And Marcus is in the car with us and stuff. And I'm like,
Marcus was, he went white as a ghost too.
And I'm like, it's going to be okay. Everything's fine. Look, none of us are hurt. We're going to get back. And he's like, what do you mean? We could have died.
Fortunately, we weren't too far out. So we were literally just like, we pulled on the highway, kind of settled in. We were about 20 minutes in, and then that occurred. So we weren't too far from home. So it all worked out.
Trailer tires are brutal. Like,
so from that experience, I'm very finicky with the tires now. I double check them, make sure the air is good, make sure I have a spare. If there's any signs of wear or whatever, then that tire is getting changed, because I'm not going through that again.
Chris said something to you. Don't get Gary too drunk for our podcast recording.
Great. Take it easy, Chris.
Don't get Gary too drunk. Right on. Right?
Did you?
He and I chatted today, and I said we try to do Thursday nights for the podcast, and I said, I'm going on with Paul and Sally. I said, I'm totally good. Like, I can do this, and then we'll do the podcast after. I said, it might actually make for pretty good content, because I'll have a couple of drinks in me. We'll start the podcast off right,
We got a question from 305 for you. It says, Gary, well, it's more of a comment, I guess. Gary, show us the beer fridge in the garage. What's in there? He's actually going to show us. Oh, here we go. Last time I did that, I dropped the stream.
He dropped the stream. Infamous.
Okay, well,
first and foremost, it's got every bloody sticker of anything I've ever bought.
Oh, I like it.
Right on.
I like it. Oh, she's full.
There we go. It's kind of, but it's kind of shrapnel, right? Like, you have some folks over and you end up with 2 or 3 strays, and so we got a little bit of everything.
All right, there's that beer can that was, there's the Stella can.
There you go.
That was staring at my face.
So Gary, does your wife, is she into cars too? Does she like cars? Is she into Mustangs?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. And the girls, I got 3 little girls that are all into them. They like what they call the convertible Ruby the Red Dragon. And then,
I like it.
The green one is Mint. What the hell does Mint the Dragon? Mint something the Dragon. But if Chris is still watching, which I hope he is, he gave me shit the other day for my old 1990s cold air intake. So I literally came down before I went to the shop, took it in the shop, sandblasted it, and did this cast blast deal on it. So I don't got any more chrome.
It looks great.
Kind of goes this kind of cast color, right?
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, everybody was doing the chrome.
It looked really good.
And some guys can pull it off. I got a couple of friends that have some really nice chrome engine base.
Beautiful.
But nicely done. Nicely done. So
well, Big Bear just looked like.
And Mike Madero's chrome motor that looks really nice.
Yeah.
You know, everything's chrome.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Nicely done with some black touches.
Yeah. Really nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
I like it when it's nice and subtle. You know, like chrome's kind of got its places. I mean, there's the opposite side of that, which is, well, any Canadians listening, and you two will know it's the kind of the Canadian Tire chrome package.
Yeah.
Chrome vent visors, chrome goddamn everything.
I went to Canadian Tire today already.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to get sandpaper.
Right. So yeah, I mean, even the new vehicles nowadays, though, right? Like it's you pay more to get like painted bumpers versus chrome bumpers, or
for sure.
Yeah.
More color versus chrome, right?
It just looks sportier, though, right?
Yeah. Agreed.
Brayford's right. Says sorry, I'm in and put off the chat today. DaFox's baby duty.
You got it.
Problem. 305 county there. It says left mile. What good would the podcast be without a few drinks? That's from 305. So
is the 305? I hope that doesn't reference a Chevy 305. Do we got a Chevy listener in here or what?
I don't know.
I think he's a Chevy.
I don't know.
Tell us, are you a Chevy?
Silence. Silence. But Gary likes his Chevys.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
No, I'm not picky either. I just like teasing.
Yeah.
I appreciate.
I love all cars.
I like everything, man. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You know, yes. Do I like my Fox bodies? Do I like my Mustangs? 100%.
I appreciate all of them.
But man, if I see an old school IROC go by me, that brings me back to my teenage years. My head is gonna turn for that IROC or that muscle car sound. It doesn't matter if it's got a lumpy cam in there. I'm looking. We got a couple. We live in a small town here, Gary, and there's a couple of guys that come through.
Yeah.
And they're like some older gentlemen. They get together at the Tim Hortons.
We love it.
And it's like a old school Chevy Nova, fully tubbed, full tub, like wheelie bars.
Yeah.
Wheelie bars. The big hood scoop supercharger coming out, and they're just there.
I love it.
I love it. And they're older gentlemen, but it's cool, man. It's cool.
You just gotta appreciate the sound and the beauty of all cars.
You gotta appreciate it. You know, my son is working on a little Golf R. Man, I really appreciate that little car. Wow, what a little rocket of a car, man.
Holy mackerel.
That thing is a little. It's a little pocket rocket. Man.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that little car.
My brother, I think it was probably like a 2011 or 2012. He had bought a little A4 Audi.
Oh, nice.
And I've always had an appreciation for the Audi brand. I really like their subtle nature, right? They hang and bang with the Mercedes and the BMers and stuff, but they've got this subtle program that they've maintained all these years. So anyway, he brings it by, and I went, geez, you know, like, why didn't you buy the more souped up one, the S or the RS, whatever? And he goes, you got to drive this thing. Like, it's going to impress you. And so he kind of gives me the stats. He says it's a 4-cylinder turbo and whatever. I'm thinking, how good can this really be? You know, same point you're making. That car blew my mind. I thought there's no bloody way there's a 4-cylinder under the hood of this car.
Yeah.
It was like a cut cat. It was crazy.
Yeah, they do.
And, you know, they're like cars. And I'm actually like, the more I look at this little Golf R, the more I appreciate it. Like even so they come with 19-inch rims, but even the rims are lightened. Like they're like almost as light as a weld rim
Yeah.
for a 19-inch rim with a I don't know the size, 235, maybe a 245.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Very light,
235.
very light tire. It's a very impressive car. I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah.
with what the technology and what they're doing with a 2-liter 4-banger with a turbo, the thing just pops hard. You know,
Mhm.
these little DSD trannies. So I'm just learning about it, to be honest.
Mhm.
And they go pretty good.
Marcus knows a ton about them, but yeah.
Well, he's researching. So our boy is researching.
Yeah.
So
Watch
he's
the channel.
modding it, and you know what? We're gonna run it at the track to see what that little sucker is gonna knock out, and we're gonna tune it, and we're gonna do some. We're gonna tweak it. We're gonna tweak it a bit and see what it's gonna do. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool little car.
And does he have any interest in any of the Mustang stuff?
Well, he does, but he's always this Golf R has been his dream car. So
Cool.
yeah.
He's 17, so he's always wanted.
It's not a bad little car for a 17-year-old, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have no
How
Golf
does it
R
work?
when I was 17. Jeez.
Yeah. How does
I
it
know.
work for you guys in Ontario? Like, I know out here they've gone to this whole graduated driver's license thing. I mean, I don't think you're cut loose until you're about 19 or 20 now.
Yeah, it's a long process.
It's still the same thing here. We got like a G1, a G2, and then your full G, right?
Okay.
So G1 is your learner's permit, basically.
Kind of like your old 365.
Yeah, but I don't know if they had the
Yeah.
365 in
I don't know if they
BC.
had that.
But it's a learner. Your G1 is your entry level. You know, got to drive with a license personally. Then you do your driving school, whatnot. Pass the driving exam. Now he can drive on his own. So he's got his G2.
Okay.
And then he has to have a certain amount of time as a G2 to graduate to eventually go to a full G.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, it is a graduated system. There's some rules there, you know, no alcohol in the system, you know, some decent rules that I hope, you know, that I appreciate and respect, and he's going to respect as well. So
for sure.
Yeah.
And hopefully,
I know I was the whole the whole
mess up our insurance.
Yeah, exactly. The whole graduated thing came in a couple of years after I went through. And I mean, I know there's some good things about it, and there's a lot of people that got their license early, like I did, that probably shouldn't have. So it's a good thing. But we were pretty easy. Like, you hit 16, you wrote your learners, and 30 days later, you could get your full-blown driver's license.
Yep.
That was exactly my case. Except I ended up getting my. Well, I did my learners, but I got both the learners for the car and the motorcycle at the same time. And 30 days later, I got my bike license, and then 30 days after that, I got my full car license. So 16 years old. The day I turned 16, I was driving a crotch rocket to school. So that was pretty cool.
We've had a few of those.
I've had a few crotch rockets too.
Yeah.
Did some silly things when you know, when you're a little bit younger, right? So I
Yep.
probably still do them now, but
Yeah.
And we'd be on the back of the bike.
Yeah. So now, how's your coupe coming along, Paul?
It's pretty much done, Gary. It's a few little cosmetic things left, you know. Just a matter of I guess the tricky part is gonna see how difficult is it going to be to get it on the road with the cage. You know, it's getting tougher and tougher with the cage, right? The insurance companies don't like the cage because it's a
indicator.
it's a liability for them, right? Like, cages are designed for you to be in the car with a helmet on.
Right.
So their concern is if you're driving it on the road and you get in a car accident and you whack your head off of that roll bar or whatnot, you know, you're going to hurt yourself. But there are still a few companies that are insuring the cars with the cages, but it is getting tougher and tougher. So
right.
But the car's done, made some decent power. You know, I figured I was going to go, I kind of followed this philosophy. I'm not waiting anymore. I'm going to go all out, all in on this one. We still have a nice cruiser. We still have the the Cobra,
Mhm.
as well as our family cruiser. That's an awesome car. It's been really good to us. And this one, yeah, we just got to make some shakedown passes and see what happens. See what kind of numbers she's going to pull in. The power's there. Everything's in place. Just gonna need to. I need some seat time now, just to learn the car, right? So
now, did you put the cage in, or did you start with a car that had already been caged?
yeah, so the car had already a lot of the fabrication done.
Okay.
The roof, floor, subframe connectors, the mini tub, and the cage was already done. And that was one of the reasons I even grabbed it or picked up that car, because fabrication in this game kills you, right?
Yeah,
And
it's like body
that
work.
alone, through subframe connectors, a 12-point cage, and doing mini tubs, that's going to cost you an arm and a leg these days to do at a shop. You know, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work right there, right?
Mhm.
So
Very true. So did you get it painted, or did you have it painted?
yes, it was already painted.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was already. I basically took over the build right off the hop. So the person started setting up the car, did the fabrication, got it painted, and then I took it over from that point. Everything else is us from front to back, right?
Right.
So
Yeah,
that's
it looks
it.
very, very good. It's
Yeah,
looks very.
I mean, it's picked up some build wounds here and there. You know, the motor's been in and out 2 times or whatnot. So, you know, you try not to scratch anything going in and out, but sometimes it's hard, right? Sometimes it's the inevitable. You know, I know somebody was trying to help me push the car in one day, and they pushed on the back bumper, and it kind of, you know. Kind of warped the bumper a little bit. So what are you gonna do, right?
Stuff happens.
Yeah.
Stuff happens, right? But
You had a question in here.
yeah, there was a question.
Someone wanted to know your most expensive sticker from Gary.
Gary Rookyard said most expensive sticker there.
And Chris,
hang on. I gotta look now.
We'll have dinner, so he said he'll catch you later. And someone asked about. I saw another question in there. They wanted to see, I think, your car. Hold on one second.
Tommy Turbo, a lot of guys in here. Thank you.
I think probably the most expensive sticker I got on here is the AFR one.
AFR, that's
yeah. Yeah, everything else is whatever. The $100, maybe a couple $100 range, and then you get AFR, and you're talking a couple thousand. So
yeah. And Disaster Gary, is your Fox in that garage? Let's have a peek.
Yeah. So somebody wants to see your Foxes again.
Okay. So here's the 91 Vert.
Nice.
That looks nice, Gary. You've done some great work on that. On that sucker.
So yeah, this one. Well, now as long as we're talking war wounds, because these cars, this is the funny thing, right? Like they kind of show good in photos, right?
Yes.
It's kind of like whatever. Meeting a gal at 2 a.m. in the park. You know what I mean? Everything. So that's the way. That's the way I explain my car. So this one, it might even be hard to show, but through here I've got like hairline scratches that kind of shoot that way.
I'll put you on solo.
Yeah, they don't even show, Gary. You can't even pick it up.
Yes, maybe that's a good thing, hey? But anyway, like the war wound situation is real. I mean, well, this one, I had a guy in town here mix me some touch-up paint.
Yeah.
Like, not even close. You know what I mean?
Let me, I'm going to go on solo.
But it's better than primer color. There it is right there.
Yeah. Did he scan the car, Gary, or he just tried to went off the code?
He went off of the code. I should have had him scan it, right?
Yeah. Well, the code, just going off the code, it's never going to come remotely close because, the car's sitting in the sun fades the paint. You got to have it. Even when they scan it, they only come, like 9 out of 10. Like it's still not even perfect.
Yeah.
It comes close though. I had some touch-up paint scan from my red one, and it's pretty close. It's pretty close, but
It is.
never the same, of course, as a fresh paint, right? So
100%.
But
Yeah.
your cars are, I mean, you've done some great work on, I mean,
Yeah.
your green
This
coupe is
is,
pretty well done. Your Fox Vert is coming along really nice. I mean,
yeah. Well, and this one, it's interesting. Like the whole combination of it's grown on me since getting it, but it's definitely not a car I would have walked in and placed an order for, you know? But because there's a lot going on. I mean, it's got white seats, it's got the red and black dash, black top, red, strawberry red, and then the titanium or whatever bottom, right? Like,
wow.
I really like the color combo.
I do too.
And
so pretty.
Excuse me, the black top is cool. The white top shows so much, you know.
Yeah.
And obviously, our son was listening in here because
he's like, "Hey, I'm a safe driver."
He's like, "Hey, I'm a safe driver." We know.
Driver mod's going on about all the German cars. I like my German cars. I drive one every single day. It's my daily driver. And I've had many of the ones you listed. I had a Mercedes, and I drive an Audi SUV.
Right.
They've been good. My Beamer's been good.
Yeah.
We got a Beamer. We got an Audi. Marcus has got a Golf. We're basically German daily drivers. American muscle car stuff.
On the weekend.
All of those have been really good to us. Not gonna
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Green Beast will.
Yeah.
Well, we'll try to. Actually, I want to show you a war wound here because there's a good war wound that's got a pretty funny story.
Tell us. Show us.
This car, I got caught in a hail storm, which you guys get hail out in Ontario, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like
tuck the cars in. Tuck them in the garage.
We've had a few like golf ball size hail storms.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I got caught in one in Alberta in this car, and it's one of those ones that you kind of have to point it out. It's not real bad, but anyway, at the time that it happened, the insurance company says, "Well, we'll give you $1,600." I'm like, "Woo! I'm 17. Give me the money. I'm out of here." Right? Don't even fix it.
Yeah.
Now I look back and go, "Well, shit, I should have got it fixed." But hey, there is. Now I'm gonna have to try to give you an angle.
Solo?
I'm gonna go solo. Hold on.
Let's go solo.
Okay.
That way we can really see.
So.
We can see that one. I can see
that one.
I can see that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like there's one more. Was there one more there?
Well, there's a few. Through here, I kind of get pretty ripply.
Yeah. I see that. Yeah.
So the big one is not hail. So I was young and dumb and having a pop, driving down the road when I was a kid. And anyway, I grew up in a small town. It was always fun to see if you could hit signs, throwing them out the window. And I had to go deep for one. And I tried winging it so hard, it bounced right off the roof of my damn car.
Oh.
Yep.
Never did that ever again.
Last time doing that?
Yeah. So yeah, that kind of stuff happens. But I guess while I got her up, but yeah, so they show their war wounds. You know what I mean? Like to your point about the red one you're building, like. Whatever you drive.
It's okay. It's gonna happen.
In pictures and video, it looks perfect, but it's not.
Totally.
There's some war wounds. I did a stupid move working on it myself. I was working on it in the garage, and I had some boots on, and I didn't realize that the boot at the top had the, like your little metal hook for your lace.
Yeah.
So as I was reaching to go under the dash, that little hook caught the bottom of the rocker, pinch it. I'm like,
he was so upset. And I'm like, it's going to happen, right? It's like living in a house that you don't sit on the furniture or don't use a dining room. It's like, what the heck am I going to have it for? Yeah. I'm going to use it. I'm going to like cherish it. So I'm like, a car, you're going to drive it, right? Like, what's the point of having it?
Yeah.
So unless you're buying a car that it's like classic and you're going to just keep the original stickers or bubble wrap it because you want to pass it down, that's different. But if you're going to buy a car, you want to drive it, right?
This is it, right?
Yeah.
Well, and to the one I was just showing you, and just like your bootlace chip there, Paul, like you're gonna be somewhere one day and go, you're not even gonna believe what I did, right? Like, look at this right here. What the hell was I thinking?
Yeah.
And here's the
That's
inside
really
of
cool.
the green one.
She's clean, man.
Yeah,
She's
she is really clean.
Nice and original, clean.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's crazy where the valuation of these cars have gone, eh, Gary? From
Yeah.
when we used to buy them, man.
Like $5 grand, $4 grand, $3 grand.
$3 grand.
Oh.
$3
You
grand.
would buy a hot.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
everybody wanted a Nacho back in the day,
I know.
right?
No.
Not everybody wanted a GT.
GT.
Back in the day, everybody.
Yeah.
In my teenage years, everybody wanted a GT.
Yeah.
That's the cat's ass. Notch, that's the poor man's Mustang. You know what I mean?
Well, and it looked like Grandma's four-banger next door.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They kind of look like a standard sedan.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is, I think, where Chris and I are going to go with this whole body kit thing. Like, we wanted to not look like that. We wanted to look like the GTs.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, those were the cool ones.
Yeah.
And your skirt package, as you know, that can become controversial. The purist. Oh man, you don't put a skirt package. Blah blah blah. Whatever. It's to whatever to your eye, or whatever the beholder's eye is. If I want a skirt package, if I want a dash kit, I'm gonna put a dash kit on there. You like your skirt package? It was done many years ago, man. I'm sure you're not touching it, regardless of whatever comments you get, positive or negative. It's whatever makes you happy, right? So.
It has crossed my mind. Like, don't get me wrong. I see pictures of that red one you guys got, and like a real nicely set, like proper ride height coupe with a nice set of wheels. Like, nothing beats it. I think anyone that knows these cars would agree with that. But again, to your point, so that skirt kit got put on in '99.
Yeah.
And it was at a time when I didn't want to look like the next door neighbor's grandma mobile, Have I thought about taking it off? I 100% have.
Don't do it, man.
Well, this is the thing. It's kind of funny. It's like, with controversy comes sometimes good things. And I mean, chances are there's people out there that go, that one that's that bozo with the skirt package, Well,
I think your car is known for that skirt package, right? So
right.
Been with you for so long. I think I don't know, I would be thinking of just myself. I think if I peeled it off, you may look back and go, shit, I shouldn't have peeled that off.
It's like your trademark.
It's been with me for so long, so that's kind of like your trademark. Like Sally said, it's almost like your trademark. Right? Everybody knows the green notch with that skirt package. They know that's your car, right?
Yeah.
So 305 in here. I was asking where we're from. 305, we're from basically Toronto, Ontario. Small little town, but just outside of Toronto. I say Toronto because everybody knows Toronto, Ontario.
Yeah, we said Aaron, you'd be like, where the heck is that?
Yeah, we're in a small little town just to the north of Toronto, Ontario, brother.
Yeah. And 305 said, love that vert and the notch.
Yes.
Oh,
305 in here. 305 in here, making some good interactions.
Yeah. What do you think here? I know what to expect already when I see foxes in photos before I see them in person.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I'm sure. I've seen numerous foxes.
Yeah.
In my time, they look great in the photos.
Yeah.
You get there and the things that pile, right?
Yeah. Mr. Walker,
I can make myself look pretty good in photos. I don't look that good in person. Just like my cars. They look great in photos. But when I bring them to shows, people go, geez, this isn't what I expected. There's a beer bottle in the middle of the damn roof.
305 goes, Gary's wife is going to walk into the garage and ask, who's he talking to? I hope that State Farm thing works.
That's funny, man.
He's funny. Yeah.
Just out here talking to myself.
Yeah, just talking about, what else on the go, Gary? Your channel's doing well. Your channel's doing well. It's flourishing. Very, very nice.
Thanks. Yeah, I have a lot of fun with it.
You get some great content. You bring some really good content, and of course, I watch it, and I watch a lot of different channels. I watch your channel, and we try to just learn from learn stuff. There's always something to learn, you know. I
Absolutely.
remember watching a Gearheads video. It was actually related to Chris there about that white coupe, and it had an A9 or an 8LP or computer. I had never even heard of it. 8ALP or something like that. It was I had never heard of that computer, so I was like, oh, okay, well, I learned something new after 30 years in Fox bodies, right? So
Always learn something.
Hey, well, as long as we're on that note, I just had my mind opened up to one of these situations the other day. And the comment or the conversation kind of started through my YouTube channel, and now me and this fellow have been emailing a bit. He's actually from Sweden, which struck me as quite neat because I didn't know, but I guess always assumed that maybe a lot of these cars didn't make their way over there. So I was immediately interested in that. How did you get one of these over there? Like, did you go to all the trouble of putting it on a boat or a plane or whatever? And so anyway, this has turned into a little bit of a back and forth talking about weird little one-offs with these cars. And he informed me the other day and sent me a link to a website where you can actually buy these. But it's a computer that was put in these Fox bodies that only went to the Middle East. And it was called an SOZ or S0Z calibration. So apparently I guess the background story is they had leaded fuel for a lot longer than we did, and leaded fuel doesn't like catalytic converters and all the rest of the emission type stuff. So they sent cars over there with this SOZ computer and no cats, no O2 sensors. They were the fuel injector, same cars that we all have and love, but they came with this different calibration.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Always learning.
Yeah, always learning something.
Always
man.
learning.
Always learning, man.
That's why you can never say you're an expert in something, because something else comes
Nah.
up.
Yeah.
I know a little bit. I know a little bit
Well,
enough to get around. That's it.
So Chris and I talk about the Middle East sort of Fox body car culture quite often, and I'm quite interested in it because, well, first I'm quite interested in as to why there is the popularity for them over there like there is. I've got my own kind of assumption. I thought, you know, like the 80s oil boom, there was kind of that influx of the Mercedes, like the 80s and 90s Mercedes that kind of have a similar front end profile to the Fox body, like that bigger headlight and whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious. I'd like to know if that's maybe where the love for these cars came in. So we've been trying to find someone that would have a chat with us and that's kind of sewn into that network and just tell us the background story. Because again, I would have thought maybe the Foxes didn't make it over there. I don't know.
Yeah, I have actually. It's kind of interesting you
He has
mentioned that
quite a few
because
followers on Instagram.
I have quite a few like followers from the Kuwait, like the Kuwait area, and there's a big Fox body scene out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They got some good drag racing going on. They got some, you know, they're doing a hell of a lot of street racing out there with it. You know, they're doing the same things that we're doing, right? They got their Coyote swaps with the Chargers on there, and there's quite a and they get some pristine cars out there as well too, right? So
I'm glad you brought that up, Paul. So that's something else I'm really interested in that it seems like every time I stumble into a page that's from the UAE or the Middle East somewhere, Kuwait, they seem to have cars that still have the plastic on the seats, and I'm going, what is like, and maybe they've restored them and they're doing a wrapper car or whatever, but or somebody had a container of these bloody cars and they're I don't know. I'm really interested.
You haven't been able to find anybody to connect with?
Apparently, so Chris knows a fella that I think we're going to try to maybe incorporate into the podcast.
Cool.
Because one of the things that I remembered from a couple of years ago is there was a couple cars on Instagram that had these carbon fiber bits and pieces, and it was called Fox Body Composites. And I think the company was from the Middle East, and maybe these guys were helping them with it or whatever. so yeah, it keeps coming up as he and I are yakking with each other, and I'm just like, it's making me want to know that much worse. You know, like I really want to know this story.
Can you imagine planning a trip and like doing a show down there?
Oh,
they got a big
how
scene.
cool.
Like, they got
That
a
would
big,
be awesome.
they got a big scene.
Yeah.
For sure.
You got some beautiful cars. Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh.
Some really nice.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, the other side of it too is again, I guess I'm generalizing here, but I think that it's more, maybe a little bit more of this might sound bad, but like a showy culture, like who's got what, and it's keeping up with, and it's kind of shiny and splashy.
Yeah.
And so maybe because these cars are getting hard to find, there's some of that getting factored into it. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of them reach out to me specifically. I can think of one guy. He's out in Kuwait, and he's like, I can't find this part anywhere here. Any chance you can reach out to your contacts or builder, and no problem. I'll pay for the shipping or whatever. And I said, no problem. Just, let me know what you need, exactly what you need. Tell me exactly, and I'll get it to you. So
yeah,
there's definitely a shortage of parts and resources out there. So that would be an interesting area for you guys to dig into to see what the story is. And they got dynos and everything out there. They got a hell of a drag racing scene. I've seen some of their videos, and these guys are rocking and rolling pretty hard out there too, right?
Should just drum up some parts that they can't get. You'd have a huge clientele.
Well, this is it. I know I've had some folks. I haven't had it in a while, but I remember having a couple people reach out through Instagram and say, "Hey, like any price you want, I want to buy your car," kind of deal. And I remember thinking at the time, I'm like, geez, they obviously want these. There's a demand for them over there. If you could find someone on the other end and kind of broker car deals and send them Foxes,
So true, right?
And some of the numbers they were throwing at me for that beer bottle dented green one over there, like, was scary. So I went, well, I mean, if that's the case, well then, you can find pretty clean cars for that kind of money,
Yeah.
It's
Disaster goes, hurry up, spring. I want to drive my car.
Yeah, we all do.
Do you get much of a winter out there, Gary? Like, you don't get much snow or anything, though, do you?
Well, it's kind of funny. So we get like a true blue 4 seasons, and but I would say the nicest part of them is the fall. Summer hangs on quite long, and and winter gets out of the way quite quick. So I mean, we were 10 degrees today, 47 for the American listeners. Like, Now we did have over Christmas, we had some barn burner cold.
I was gonna say, you did.
Well,
my team in BC was telling me that they got like a ton of snow. One of my peers was telling me she had to go buy a snowblower.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like,
well, this is it. Because like where the rest you go, they really don't get any snow.
No.
And my brother's on Vancouver Island. I mean, they don't even buy snow tires. It just rains in the winter. That's about it. And the last couple of years, they've had snow. And I thought, well, just deal with it like the rest of Canada does or whatever.
Yeah.
He goes, well, the trouble with it is they're so concerned with the ecological system around them in the ocean that there's no salt. Like, they won't do anything to the roads. They just literally lock her up and wait till it melts.
Yeah. We loved when we went for, what year was that?
Yeah, my brother used to live out in BC.
We loved
He was out in New Westminster.
Yeah.
Westminster, I believe.
So beautiful.
Yeah, and then he gave us the whole tour. We went to Tofino Island.
Tofino's so nice.
Tofino.
It is,
Tofino Island, but
Tofino. We stayed there.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We got a question in the chat from Bam. He says, sorry, the comment to jump. I have one question. How in the heck did Infamous get that many Fox bodies? I think we all want to know that, but we'll let the Infamous answer that one.
He's having dinner, And then 305 said they love the Fox buys in Dubai.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
Do.
Yeah, and when I was referring to Kuwait, I have a few followers on Instagram from Dubai and Kuwait or
it's actually one of my places I want to visit is Dubai.
Me too.
Yeah, that's a hell of a long flight.
I have a really good friend that lives there, so he's like, just come visit, just come whenever.
Yeah.
So I got to just convince Paul because he's like, that's a long plane ride.
305 has an interesting comment here. He says, I had a lot of friends from UAE and Dubai back in the early 90s. They went to University of Miami here, and even with all the money they had, all they loved to drive was the Mustang GTs.
There you go.
It's interesting. It's interesting, eh? That's
it's funny because I mean, I guess I don't want my interest in the topic to come across odd. I'm genuinely interested in the backstory.
Well, you should actually plan. There you go. That will make you get there faster. You should actually plan like a whole like box body event, and you should do it there.
They're gonna be like, who's this bearded guy?
It'd be like the Fast and the Furious with the imports. Do you remember the Fast and Furious? And they were in like Dubai. Remember?
In Dubai?
Yeah, when they jump from building to building.
No. Oh right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there you go. It's no imports.
It was Jason Statham.
There you got some American muscle.
Yeah.
Get some contacts down there and be like, hey, we're gonna plan this out.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it would be cool. I'm very, very interested in it because I think, in North America, the story's quite easy. Well, we got them. They were on dealership lots everywhere. So
yeah, for sure.
A fairly easy explanation, but I don't think that was the case for them. So
I know. It would be cool to find out what is it? Like, where does it come from? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary, I'm not sure what your time frame is here. I'm by no means saying trying to kick you out here, but whenever you need, I'm just trying to be respectful of your time. And whenever you got to go, just let us know. I know you have a podcast recording still to do with Chris, so
and you have to have dinner
and still eat some dinner. So
but you know what? Well, it's 6:30 for me now. Let's do one more quick one. And
you got it. Look, Jimmy's going, Dubai is crypto friendly.
Dubai is crypto friendly from Jimmy. What other? And sorry guys, we haven't been addressing the comments as we normally do.
Me too, David. But, so true, right?
I love how the car community has car groups and not gangs. Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with that. I think what's hurting our car community though is these like intersection takeovers when they start, doing these intersection takeovers and burnouts and, hitting people while they're in, someone's trying to record it, something, next thing you know, they're getting whacked by the guy doing donuts. So I like everything about the car community.
Me too.
I'm not so sure about these intersections.
They got to be careful. That's all.
I talked to a guy about that because, like everybody, I had seen the videos and I thought, does this really happen? Like it just really shocked me. And he was like, oh yeah, like, and I'm like, they seem to be doing donuts around cop cars sometimes. Like,
yeah.
I mean, the way I was raised is like, you just got shot on the spot for like. You didn't dare even talk back to the cops. And I'm like, I would never dream of doing a donut around a cop car. But it makes for good content, I guess. I don't know.
makes for good content. Yeah.
What do you write here?
Well, 305. What did you say? All my friends from Dubai and UAE here at University of Miami back in the late 80s and early 90s loved Mustangs. They could afford anything, but they loved staying.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Cool.
I wonder what that's something for you to find out why, what's their passion? Yeah. Why do they gravitate to that Mustang? They can obviously afford anything they want. Why? Mm-hmm. Must be that pure rawness, why we like it so much, right? Like, when you're in a Mustang, when you can hear it. We can hear a Mustang coming a mile away. I hear a Mustang, I'm like, I'm looking for it. Where is it? You know what I mean? It's that rawness, And sometimes you love it. Sometimes it drives you crazy, like when I was bringing Sally's notch home, I remember it was pretty low, actually. Sally's.
It's that really nice, actually.
Sally's car was pretty low. It was just on those Eibach sport springs, the red ones. And they dropped. Yeah, sport lines. That's it. The Ibach sport lines. They drop pretty good. So I'm cruising home, hit a big bump, and I'm like, yep, I'm in a Fox body. Boom.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, there goes my back.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm in a Fox body.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what's any more plans for either one of your cars, like, or you just take them to a certain point and you're gonna leave them, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of enjoying both. Now the plan for the convertible is my mom retires this year, and I wanted to try to get her something. So I got a little bit of a. I'm sure there's some folks watching that maybe have some crazy mums, but I got a really neat crazy mom. I mean,
I like
she's.
it.
I saw some of these videos of her driving.
I was like, Mom.
Oh,
you chuckled on the last one when she drove past you.
Yeah.
Like I could hear you.
Totally.
Oh, it's so awesome.
Oh, she's awesome. Just if I'm half the person she is one day, I'll be happy with what I've done with myself. You know, just a wicked soul. Loves going to the garage and having a beer, and she's just and loves cars too. So she had a 69 Camaro way back before I was even thought of, and
I like it.
yeah. And so she's kind of spent the last handful of years. Well, she keeps talking about maybe getting a standard, some sort of little car with a stick. And I thought, well, this thing popped up, and the way the story goes, it popped up through my YouTube channel. It was kind of a weird deal. And I went, you know, that's kind of got Mom's name written all over it, you know?
That's
and
awesome.
She's the standard grandma too. Like, I know for sure the kids are getting it or something. So it's definitely not leaving the family, you know? But if I could get it to a point where, you know, any young kid or older fella that looks at it goes, that's a cool car. I think that's kind of what I'm going for with it. So it's a great runner, runs great. I did the exhaust on it and kind of brought it down to where it should sit, and cleaned it up. And there's a couple little things. It's still got the original rad, so I wanted to change that out for her.
Yeah. That's cool.
And then I think
you're building it for your mom, essentially.
Yeah.
You're building it for your mom. That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Marcus, are you listening?
Gotta build Mama a car.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And then the green one, well, it's kind of sits at that point where I guess the most logical next step would be maybe some sort of supercharger or whatever.
V1, baby.
Right. So, and I know
it'll make your neighbors happy.
Which, well, funny enough, they sold. So I got to see who the new people are. I got to maybe break them in here this spring, but.
Oh man.
They're gonna leave the new neighbor, the new owners a note. Watch out! Good luck with the guy across the street. Or
nice guy, but his car will wake the dead.
Yeah, I know.
Oh man, are they close enough that they will hear it? Are they close enough that they can hear?
Yeah, like it, and we got a little bit of a mini valley deal in here, sort of tighter one. So it's great if you want to make lots of noise. It's not great if you don't want to, right? So
right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sound travels. Yeah, but so that might be next step with the green one, if anything. But right now, it's a heck of a lot of fun to drive. I go on and on in my videos about, like, you know, reliability, time/money spent versus what you got to give up to get what you think you want to get to. I mean, you guys know what that red coupe, right? Like, these rabbit holes are deep, and Christ. And then you know what's going to happen. I mean, you guys already know this, but you're going to get that thing out in the spring, and you're going to go, what's that noise? Right? Oh, Christ. Pull this apart. Like, you're only 70% of the way there once you first start it and go for the drive.
Yeah,
well, I know.
He does that now. I'm like, just turn up the radio. There's nothing. There's nothing there. Don't worry.
The volume. It's all good.
Yeah. And then I know he'll fixate on it, right? Yeah. And I'm like, there's nothing going on. Just enjoy the drive.
Well, that's the way I operate. You know, I get in the car and like, yeah, everything sounds normal.
Oh, I can hear it. I just don't want to.
we
to
can
fixate
enjoy.
on it.
But yeah, those rabbit holes, you know, like you said, it's a slippery slope, and you go there, and I'm like, nah, I'm already here. 31 spleen, nah. 33, nah.
Yeah.
Let's do 35. We're already here, you know.
Yeah.
Just in case, you know, just in case. Yeah, no, yeah, let's go here. You know, you just go deeper and
Yeah.
deeper.
Yeah.
But honestly, the most fun I had was just simple bolt-on, you know, Fox bodies, you know,
Yeah.
heads cam
Heads cam
intake
intake.
V1, head cam intake V1 charger. You're good. It's gonna push you into that 400 to 500 range, and it's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun. So
Yeah.
definitely worthwhile. I'm gonna pitch a V1, and man, ours were always reliable with a V1
Yeah.
charger. You know, it's not gonna really change a lot, Gary, right? And your car's
Yeah.
there. You got a nice, you know, some heads intake. And even if you don't, the charger will still work nicely without, right?
Yeah. This is it. I
Can
mean,
you
and they're,
fuel a little bit? There's not
yeah.
really much, right?
Yeah.
But
I know.
and
I've always had it in my head that
you do it. If you do it, you're gonna be like, wow, why did I wait so long to do it?
I know.
Once you do it, you're gonna be like, once you do one, you will charge every single one.
I know,
You know
right?
what I mean? As soon as we
Well,
got salad, we're like, okay, V1, heads cam intake, V1. I was already looking around for a V1 charger, right? Just to accumulate the parts. So once you do one, it's
Sounds so nice.
yeah.
They do.
And I personally like the V1 with the straight cut gears, and you get that nice whine, you know.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool. So
yeah.
Your
Well,
call,
and I
buddy.
mean, it's tricky because I'm kind of like, well, not that I'm a cheap bugger, but like I'm big on money, dollars spent versus what you get out of it at the end of it all, right? And maximizing those dollars. So
Smart.
yeah, and I mean, you think about it. Well, here I sit beside. Oh, whatever. This one's maybe not the best one to show, but the old 5
Wait, I gotta put you on solo. Let's see it.
Sally wants to see the girl. Put it on. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
Look at that 80s, 90s hair, hey?
Oh wow, it's big.
Yeah.
Look at like.
But yeah, like, well, actually, here, look at this one. All you guys need is racing stripes.
Yeah.
You got the car in the 99
Yeah.
Mustangs and fast forwards. But
Mustangs and fast forwards, man. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well,
you have those.
yeah, well, and the reason I bring it up is like for fun. Every now and again, I go through and I'm like, how much have prices really changed on parts? You know?
Oh yeah, they've gone up crazy.
Wild. Oh, like there was a it was like right in the first couple little pages, like a whole a set of trick flow heads for like under $1,000, and now you can't buy anything for under 2,000. Like it's literally doubled. Superchargers, you know, buy them for 16, 17, 1,800 bucks. Now they're $4,000. Like
Yeah. The last one I saw was a nice V1, you know, upgraded 8-rib pulley. He was asking 3,500 bucks.
right.
So, yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
It is.
But what are you gonna do?
That's why you can't track it.
Yeah, well,
and you know what? And but those superchargers work well. Simple, man. You know, I have played with the On3 turbo kit. It's a little bit more complicated. They don't all fit perfect. On3 is a good kit. I'm not knocking it by any means, but you know, sometimes they don't fit perfect, and you got to tweak, and then you got to get into this. Well, you know, I don't know if you can TIG or MIG or whatever it's called, aluminum, but you know, sometimes you got to change it. Turbo's a little bit more complicated, definitely, versus the V1s. So if it was a street bruiser for me, I would just be going back to a V1.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, and then the other side of that is I think to myself, you know, do you spend $4,000 upgrading? Now, there's arguments to be made for just keeping the stock block and all that good stuff and whatever. It still matches the 5.0 badges on the fender.
100%.
Well, I get all that, but I think to myself, okay, $4,000 and all the time it's going to take me, which if you charge anything for your own time, you know, like it adds up, you're whatever. I'm like, well, or do I just start fresh and do I build a proper 408 or, you know, so it's just,
that's big bucks too though, right? Man,
Yeah.
do a proper block. Holy smokes! I mean, I know. Okay, my motor in this coupe's obviously it's a mod motor, but the pistons and rings alone, they were the pistons and rings alone that's in my motor now. Those were
Yep.
$4,000. That's pistons and rings. Those were $4,000.
Right.
So yes, Sean, that's why you need a Mustang fund. Yes, we
So
have
Sean Fairweather. He's like, that's why you need a Mustang fund. 100%.
We have a fund for everything. Vacation fund, Mustang
Yeah.
fund.
Sally's very organized. So, like she said, we have a vacation fund, a Mustang fund. We got a Sally fund, of course.
I have
you know,
Sally
like,
fund.
she's got to get her
Yeah.
hair nice and figured out, right? There's a Sally fund.
Then you don't think about it because you're just putting it away, right?
Put it away.
It's
It's
true.
there. So when you have to pay for it, okay, it's there.
I still
Don't feel
think,
bad.
Gary, of all the mods and everything, it's still the best bang for the buck, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my view, it's still best bang for the buck, because you can still throw it on even with stock heads and intake, and you're still gonna get a wicked kick out of it. You know what I mean? Still, even at if you can find one for $3,000, so the odd time you can still see one come up for $3,000 or 35, and I would still do it even at 3. It's a great little bang for the buck. Back in our days when we were teenagers, obviously best bang for the buck was what? Gear. You know, you throw that 373 in there and you'd be like, whoa, man,
Made a big difference.
Feels like you just picked up 50 horsepower, you know?
Yeah.
Those were the days, right? But
Yeah.
right now, I still think a V1 is probably your best bang for your buck and pick up some good power and some fun. But your call, obviously, whatever you like, man.
Downhill side to TIG aluminum.
TIG aluminum, yeah, I knew it was TIG. I'm not much of a welder downhill. That's one skill I don't know much about. So that's why I said TIG, MIG, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, when I watched you in your video do your exhaust, I was like, oh, the little bugger can weld too.
Yeah.
I was like, that's good. Those are all great skills to have. One less thing to, pay somebody, because what you did there to install that exhaust front to back, that's going to cost it's going to cost people, and people don't understand. I know that was a video, and I'm sure there was a lot of editing involved, because lining everything and putting everything on, strapping jack stands on the flow tubes and twisting them just right. It takes all time, man. It takes all time.
It does, and that was one thing I touched on in there. And I mean, it's I'm not necessarily trying to knock MagnaFlow, but I just wanted to get the message out to folks, going like, listen, if you tell the better half you're just going to be in the driveway for a quick little hour-long install, don't kid yourself, because there's a lot of pissing around that goes to making this fit right,
Yeah, absolutely.
And you got hung up. You were saying in the video you got hung up on the starter bolt or something like that for the header. Or?
There was that I dealt with, and I mean I kind of referenced the fact that I had bought the headers and the H pipe as secondhand, right? So, and the guy that I got them from had kind of clearanced them himself, and then I took a pipe deal and opened them up and whatever. But the MagnaFlow kit from the H pipe back, I mean, it's your standard mandrel bent kit, and it's the kit that people picture in their head that, like I say, you're going to just quick little hour install on the driveway with your toolkit and boom, you're done.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I spent days, like it was a little over the top because I'm OCD and want things straight and whatever, but the biggest thing was just clearance. Like the diff hit the passenger side every time I cycled it, and I couldn't get it to move forward anymore. Like there was some serious struggles, and by no means a master mechanic here, admittedly, but I'm like, holy Christ, like if I can't figure this out, how would some young kid that's just trying this for the first time like it?
Really for sure.
Infamous Chris was asking how many Stellas has he had.
That's why you thought
Christ, he's back on here giving me trouble.
I was like,
he's 6. He's 6 deep, Chris. He's 6. Not much.
Downhill.
He's worse than my wife counting my beers.
Yeah.
not much of a podcast going to occur tonight, Chris. Don't worry,
you're
it's
gonna have a
over.
great podcast.
Just playing.
Victor said his wife's a financial advisor, so she got a budget organized.
Yeah, that's Sally. She keeps us organized. Chris, we answered Chris. How many Stellas? He's 3 deep, but he's good.
Thanks,
And,
Disaster, for being here.
Disaster, thanks, brother. He's local to us, so thanks for being here, Ryan. Appreciate all the chatter in there.
Yeah.
Downhill Daddy, Infamous Project. We don't count those in this channel.
I like that guy. That's a good program right there.
Downhill Daddy is a awesome,
he's really
awesome
great.
guy, and very good supporter. And I know he supports a lot of channels here, and I'm sure he's supported your channel as well. So
and he has a beautiful daughter, Eleanor.
that's right.
What do you think he named her after?
Yeah, Eleanor.
She's got a fastback. Yeah.
So Downhill says, when we meet, Paul, give me 3 hours and you'll be a welder. So Downhill is Dave is a welder. I believe he teaches welding. He's an instructor or teaches welding. So good for him.
Well, I'm glad I didn't show him my welding then. Good grief.
Yeah.
Nice, John. Thanks for being here.
I'll take your 3 hours learning lesson. No problem. Anytime.
Yes, then I can build furniture.
There you go.
She's like, this was her plan, eh? She's like, you should
learn how to weld.
You should learn how to weld, because she wants me to weld for her so she can put furniture and stuff together.
There's always a back motive in it, right?
I'll do everything else, just the welding. Well, you can teach me. I'll put on the helmet, like flash dance. Seen the flash dance. Remember
Mine will trick me into going to Home Depot, and when I think, geez, that's interesting that she wants to go to Home Depot, right? And so we go and we get there, and it slowly comes out that, well, maybe we should renovate. Oh, Christ. Now I know why you want to go to Home Depot, right? Jeepers.
Is she handy? Can't she do stuff? Is she pretty handy?
Well, kinda, but I always get talked into it.
She's listening, Gary. Careful.
I know.
Careful now.
I get talked into doing it. No, she's a saint. She puts up with all my BS. So I mean, whatever. I'll do whatever I can to help her out.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
I'm getting all in trouble now.
No, he's great. If I ask him to do something, he'll do something. But I enjoy doing it myself. So sometimes I'll be like, I'll just do it.
I see there was a couple of messages deleted, most likely troll related. So I appreciate you guys for deleting them out. Looks like Silverback just deleted the last one out. So thanks Silverback and Tim and the moderators to the channel for helping us out. Much appreciated. So
Matt said a honey-do list. I have my own honey-do list for myself.
Yeah.
Right.
I usually do it early in the morning when Paul's asleep. I'm down there painting or sanding something.
She's an early bird, right? She's a natural early bird.
Yeah.
So
it's like my time, right?
I
just love it. I'll get up really early. I'll do what I need to do for work. I'll do some things I want to create. Then I'll go do my workout. Then I go back to stuff around the house. Then I go log on again. But
that's
it's just
awesome.
Nice, right? I like to work with my hands. So he's sleeping. He don't know different.
Well, Gary, I don't want to hold you up. I know you said you wanted one more pop, and you got to take care of some business with Chris. So,
yes, he's good, Chris.
Well, I call him my second wife. He's counting my beers. He's giving me trouble on here.
I know.
Hey, but you know what? I wanted to do something for you guys because I figured this would be a nice way to round things out at the tail end of this podcast or tail end of our life.
Yeah, say a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, good. What do we got?
What's he got? Oh, look at you!
2.
Ooh, let's go.
3.
I love it.
4.
And he's doing that on
All right, that's it.
5. Come on.
And he did it on fingers. I like it. See, Chris, he's good.
I'm feeling good. I got a couple beers in me. I can go all night now.
I love it.
Gary, we
This was
really
awesome.
appreciate you joining us for the live stream. It's been a blast.
Yes, absolutely.
It was great to chat with you. I know we've been following each other for a while on Instagram, and even before I started a YouTube channel, I know we were following each other. And when I initially started, I reached out to you. You gave me some tips and stuff. And yeah, you got a really good channel there. You're definitely onto something.
Thanks,
we wish
guys.
you all the best of luck with your shop. I know it's gonna work, because when we're passionate about these things, it's gonna work. So we really appreciate you being here.
Yes,
and
hopefully we'll come and see you one
Thanks
day.
for your time. We
anytime, guys.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting you to be this long.
Yes.
So really appreciate
tons of gratitude
the
to
time.
you.
So
And also thank your wife as well, because you've just taken time away from your wife and your 3 kids.
we get it. Life's busy, right?
So thank
busy.
you. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
No,
you got a
thanks,
great
guys.
channel. You got a great channel, and hopefully everybody that was in the chat or came for a visit supported your channel and make it grow. There's enough room on YouTube for us all to grow, right? So
That's
and one day we'll have to see your mom.
That's right.
Oh yeah. That would be a fun live chat to have for sure.
Yeah, bring her.
Yeah.
We'll have to do a Kesso Customs Part 2 with Mama. With Mama Bear.
There you go.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Mama Bear. No, thanks, guys. I'm super grateful. Super grateful for you guys having me on. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And anytime you guys want to come out here and drink the Okanagan wine, okay?
Thank you. And you're more than welcome to come and visit us too.
Deal. I'll take you up on that.
You got it.
Right on.
Love it.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Pleasure having you.
Have a great night, Gary, and we'll be in touch, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay, thanks, guys. Take care.
Chris. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Go
thanks, wife number 2.
Go deal with Chris. Okay, see you.
I got to deal with wife number 2. Okay, take care, guys.
Thank you.
All right, see you, buddy.
Good night.
Night. Just pull here. Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging with us. We didn't correspond with you guys as good in the chat as we usually do. We had Gary in the chat, so it's kind of hard when you have a special guest in the stream. But I think Sally still did a great job of highlighting all your comments.
I can make sure it's highlighting them all.
Gary's a real daddy, downhill daddy. Yeah, Gary's a really cool dude. Definitely go check out his channel for sure.
And David, thank you for anyone that was coming in the chat, just welcoming and just saying hello.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks,
and I was smiling at some of the comments as I was highlighting them. So hopefully you guys saw me smiling at your comments. I just didn't want to interrupt when they were talking.
Yeah, for sure. So I certainly wasn't expecting Gary to stay 2 hours. So that was kind of unexpected, but that's okay.
It was great,
really appreciate it. So we have a couple more people set up.
Yes.
They've already basically said they're not going to be able to stay as long, but we have some special guests for the next 3 weeks lined up.
About 3 weeks, yeah.
No, we got 3 more lined up, so it was great.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, so we'll keep it under our hat who it is for now, and we'll go. But
you can't do that. Like bugger. Now they're gonna be like, who is it? Who is it?
They can wait.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it.
All right, Dave. Thanks.
All right, I'll have to figure out who my single friend.
Red Rum, good seeing you guys. Sally hooked me up with a single friend. Well, first and foremost, how old are you, Red Rum? Yeah, no, right? It's important. We don't even know. So we got lots of friends. Sally's got lots of friends. So let us know how old you are.
Yes, part 2 would be cool with Mama. That'd be awesome.
Jimmy, thanks for the shirt. 50 Posse. I love it. We're gonna do some more stuff.
Yeah.
Downhill. Definitely looking forward to part 2. I think that would be pretty cool.
With his mom, that'd be awesome. I love how he was talking about his mom and stuff like that. That was so cool.
It was good.
Yeah, it was really nice. That'd be cool.
What else?
And Jimmy said that he likes the camel idea.
The camel idea?
Yeah, the camel shirt. The shirt, yeah.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
We got some camel hats. We're gonna.
So we're the same age because I'm 44.
44. Perfect. Sally's 44 years young.
I'm 44.
She looks the same now as.
Just a couple more wrinkles.
You got no wrinkles. Look, what wrinkles do you got? I got wrinkles.
I got wrinkles. We all have wrinkles. I have a lot of laugh lines.
44. She looks the same as when I met her when she was whatever, 20 or.
I got married when we were 20.
Okay, well, whatever.
18.
18. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a while, so but
There
she
you go.
seems like she gets better and I get worse. So
No, you don't.
Brelford, thanks for hanging in. We saw
Yes.
you coming and going. We saw a lot of you guys, and I actually kind of felt bad that we couldn't chat with some of you guys, but I guess that's
Thanks
the
for
way it goes.
hanging in and listening.
Thanks
it was great.
Thanks for
We
being
really
with us.
appreciate you being
Victor
here.
says good night, Paul, Sally, and
Good night,
everyone.
Victor.
Thanks for popping in, Victor. Fellow pork chop. Have a great night. Red rum, yes, Sally's 44, and I got 2 years on her, so I'm 46. But thank you, brother. Sorry, I was all over. That's okay.
That's okay. Family first.
I was reading.
Yeah.
We had baby duties and popping in, popping out. We appreciate it.
Yes.
So.
Anyone know how One Low is doing?
Yeah,
Anyone?
He was in
Last week.
whose stream? No, I saw him in a stream. I think I saw him in Brelford's stream actually
okay.
on Monday. I think he's doing good.
Monday or Tuesday? I was teaching.
I kind of lose track.
David, do you know how he's doing? Just want to make sure he's good, feeling good.
Other than that, I think we've been on long enough, and we're not going to hold you guys up, but we certainly appreciate all you guys.
Anyone streaming tonight? We'll send you everyone there.
Tom, thanks so much for
love you guys.
Downhill.
Love you too, David.
Love all you guys.
He's doing good. Okay, good stuff.
Looking forward to. Okay, he's doing good.
Yeah.
War Admiral, thanks, brother. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for
Tom.
Thanks for
all
chatting.
the details too.
Yeah, chatting with me and sending me all the details for Chocolate Fox.
Yeah, I'm gonna go book a hotel
earlier today. That was much appreciated. So we're watching.
That too.
We're watching Ozarks too. So.
We're gonna go watch a little bit now because I'm wide awake and.
Yeah, we're gonna just chill out. Maybe have another little drink, wind down.
Yeah.
Off to bed. We don't have to work tomorrow morning.
Paolo's still here.
Hello.
I'm working tomorrow morning.
Thanks, brother.
You're not.
We're going to pack it in. Hope you guys enjoyed the special guest.
Thank you.
We did. Gary, super cool guy.
Yeah.
Gary, thank you so much.
It was awesome chatting with him here.
Yeah, we got a special guest next week. You guys will see when the preview or broadcast pops up.
Yeah, make sure you guys go check out the podcast with him and Chris.
Yeah. So everyone, have a great night.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks so much.
We're gonna go grab another Stella. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Okay, cheers. Bye.